I would like to say good morning, everyone, and it's my honor and pleasure and privilege to be here with all of you. I do want to say we do have some, I do have some prepared remarks today, but I am just glad to be with you today and truly want to thank the CEO, Aaron Twerkin, and Dr. Thornton for that introduction. And I want to congratulate all of you just on a wonderful night of celebration that you had last night at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And I also want to thank you all that are here today, just educators, mentors, and youth development leaders, for you are our leaders of today and tomorrow, and you're certainly doing the hard work of developing our leaders of today and tomorrow, so thank you. I also just want to, again, just state the importance of all of you being here, and then for me being able to be here with you. It was unplanned, but I certainly appreciate the opportunity. And just want to thank you for all that you do to prioritize and to truly address the issues facing young people today, and critically working every day to break down the opportunity gaps that 2 million children today still face. And I do know that Dr. Murthy, our U.S. Surgeon General, is sorry that he wasn't able to be with you today, but I'm grateful to be able to take part in today's summit and to see the wonderful work that this group is accomplishing. I did have the opportunity in the breakout room just to be able to speak to a number of our leaders, and I'm learning more about what you are doing to contribute to our community, our society, and our youth. So I truly applaud your efforts. I do want to say that in particular, as a woman of color serving in government and in this role, it's especially meaningful for me to just know that there is so much work being done in communities across the country to support the educational, emotional, social, and mental well-being for young people who need it the most. In my career path, and it has taken me through some surprising pathways, and then prior to my serving as the Deputy Surgeon General, as Dr. Thornton has stated, I served as the Chief Scientist at the FDA and as an Air Force nurse officer. I earned my degree in the STEM field. I would say that it was not not an easy journey at all, but I think as a mother of two, and both of my children are also have STEM degrees, as it was important for me for them to have that. So I can't say they chose it. I may have chosen it for them. But in that, I just as a foundation, I think the STEM education as a whole really does lay the foundation for all of us to make evidence-based decisions that inform what we do across our nation, but also across our globe. And it also sets the foundation for kids to really think analytically, right? And to be able to not just accept what's in front of them, but to think about it, research it, and even challenge it a little bit and challenge themselves to learn more about it and to incorporate it into their education, to their lives, and then to the communities in which we are all here to serve. I would just say that my pathway, wasn't one that was chosen. I always say that my steps are ordered, and they certainly were, in a way that I couldn't account for or plan for. I'm a believer, so I would say the good Lord put some fabulous people in my life, including my wonderful mom and dad, and many of my family members and folks in my community. My dad was a graduate, but also he was an enlisted person that served in the United States Air Force for 26 years. So I had the opportunity to travel the world. I had the opportunity to experience different cultures, meet different people, but really had the chance to meet many people, have many cultural experiences in a way that I recognize some don't. But like to share those efforts with people, and also like to share with our youth the importance of getting to know the people within and outside of your community, getting to know and experience the different cultures, and building upon the community and what you learn is important. I also recognize that it is important in recognizing that you can only aspire to be what you see. So you also need from your different communities to see people that look like you and have come to accomplish and succeed in many ways. And for you to see that, to know about that, have access, exposure, is incredibly important in shaping the paths. It was certainly important in shaping my path. So all of you have that critically important role through education, but also in supporting our youth of today and tomorrow as far as their social well-being, their sense of community, their connection, and for the key importance in focusing on their mental health and well-being. I would say I had that throughout the course of my career, and then also outside of the foundation and building up to what I've been able to accomplish here today. And I do want to say that I do hold close to my heart the different pathways as a young person can gain from the foundation early in life that allows them to succeed. I would say in whatever way they define success down the line, later in their lives, we are just coming off the heels of a World Mental Health Summit Day, and I'm grateful that today, as part of that summit, you're focusing specifically on youth mental health. As you have known and was just stated, that the Surgeon General issued a Surgeon General's advisory on youth mental health, and these advisories are often issued to call the public's attention to an urgent health matter. And as you all know, coming out of COVID, on top of the decade of troubling trends, youth mental health was undeniably in a state of crisis, and we are in a state of crisis, so your attention to this topic is incredibly important. In fact, Dr. Murthy issued the advisory after years of traveling across the country and hearing directly from young people about the struggles that they and their peers face, from the daily pressures of school to the ways social media made them feel bad about themselves. In the advisory, he said that one of our biggest obstacles, and maybe the most important urgent action as we as a country need to take, was overcoming stigma. In the meaning, making sure that everyone knows that their mental health is important, that mental health challenges are normal, and that it's not only okay, but an act of strength to ask for help. Now, just nearly 2 years later, and thanks to a large part to the work done by all of you, we've never been more confident that the stigma is being broken. Because now when we travel across the country and talk to people or read the newspaper or go on the social media or watch TV or talk to friends and other doctors, we can see an increasingly widespread recognition of the importance of mental health as part of the overall health. More people are often now talking about their struggles, their recoveries, and their needs. And President Biden includes mental health priorities in his unity agenda, and it talks about it in speeches. And then this was also rolled out, the 988 hotline, which has been an incredibly important addition, I think, to the platform and is in great use. So I would say in recognizing the critical role that the summer learning programs have in solving this crisis, this administration has invested a historic $30 billion in federal funding for summer learning specifically. I see state and local policymakers taking their own important steps to make progress as well. I see leaders like all of you just stepping up and making the programmatic commitments that communities need to thrive. And most importantly, I see young people sharing their own stories, being support systems for their friends and their classmates, and changing the narrative that tells them that their mental health is something they should not be embarrassed or ashamed of. It's incredibly important for folks to be able to share their feelings, but also support others in sharing theirs and helping them to get through the rough and tough times. We have to do that as a community. But I would just say, just to be sure, there is absolutely more work to be done to end this crisis. The next generation of prevention and treatment, we have too many kids, still hurting, still lacking the resources they need to get help, still feeling alone. That's what today is all about. All your events over the course of the week, that's what it's about. We can work together to create safe, supportive, and affirming environments that support the well-being of young people. But I don't want to lose sight of the progress we've made together on that first critical step. And then I would say serving as the Deputy Surgeon General, and I know I speak for Dr. Murthy and a lot of people when I say thank you. I speak for a lot of people when I can say that you give me hope, you give us hope. And I hope that kids can grow up in a world where they don't feel ashamed if they're hurting, confused, or isolated. A world that, where they are comfortable asking for help when they need it, and where the help is readily accessible to them. In a world where they, their friends, and their peers are all anchored to the values of love, kindness, and respect. That is what I wish for them, and that's what I wish for all of you. That is what I wish for our nation as a whole. And I'm so grateful for all the work that you are doing and that you will continue to do today and every day, and just to make that world a reality for all. So with that, I just want to thank you again for your time and for your commitment to our youth and for our nation. And I hope you continue to enjoy all the events and the activities for the rest of the week. Thank you.